Something exciting is happening at Arise.
It's us and them. That's how it works.
We've got history.
Guns shooting me. Come on.
Did you miss it? Look again.
Early indications suggest the biggest cash robbery in UK history.
What do you remember?
Look again.
The person who did it had any control over their actions.
It's quite she was telling the truth. If you really love me, then...
Love heals, doesn't destroy.
Download the app and subscribe. This isn't just a streaming channel. This is a bold new world of entertainment. Arise Play. Beyond streaming.
Here are the Arise Plays Movie Box and Indie View Festival Lagos winners of the Short Films Competition, August 2022.
Lagos.
Bad Market.
Somebody they wait for you here. When you reach there, you don't know. No more questions.
See, this place, no be place for small girls like you. This is business.
Gasper.
I can't apologize for my actions, but I could be civil enough to formally introduce myself to you, friend. Hello there. My name is Gasper.
Stream these and other winning short films exclusively on Arise Play. Do you think your short film can win the Movie Box and Indie View Festival Lagos competition? Then what are you waiting for? Winners are selected every month. Visit at Arise Play and at Indie View Lagos on Instagram to submit your entry. Experience a whole new world of entertainment with the exclusive Indie View and Arise Play Movie Box partnership. Arise Play. Beyond streaming.
This is the heart of the business world in Lagos, the commercial capital of Africa's largest economy.
These aren't just numbers. They represent our nation's sharpest minds, our most successful investors, our most inspiring bosses. In Nigeria, business is in our DNA. From micro-business to startups to world-conquering brands. Every success story has something in common. They all started somewhere. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Global Business Report gets to the heart of business. We bring you the stories making headlines across the globe with in-depth analysis from experts and executives.
This is not business as usual. This is the Global Business Report.
Welcome to this week, 60 minutes of analytical review of the big stories, topical issues, and all the controversies around the world. I'm Somna Sambo. And in the headlines, fresh troubles in the offing for Biafra Nation agitator Nnamdi Kanu as the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, clarifies that Kanu was only discharged and not acquitted. In politics, Labour Party and its presidential candidate Peter Obi apologized over controversial presidential campaign council list as party plans readjustment. Plus, Nigeria's governing party, All Progressives Congress, still undecided on the date to flag off its presidential campaign. Well, the last has not been heard about the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, as the Nigerian government has indicated that it will not release him despite Thursday's Court of Appeal judgment, which quashed the charges against him based on what the court described as illegal rendition. Instead of releasing the IPOB leader as ordered by the court, the government says it is reviewing its legal options and could institute other charges against him. Now, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, the government's first official reaction said the federal government's decision on the case will be announced to the public after a review of available legal options. In a statement, Malami said the initial case filed against Kanu before he absconded out of Nigeria subsists, with many agitations for the appeal court order to be obeyed. What are the implications of this? Well, to unbundle this, a lawyer to the embattled Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, joins me now. Thank you so much, Barrister Ejiofor, for joining us.
How are you?
Yeah.
It's a pleasure being on your platform.
Thank you so much. And let's talk about this latest development, the federal government saying that your client still has a lot to answer and that this case is only on the rendition. I want to first ask, did the federal government at any point in time tell the court how Nnamdi Kanu managed to get back to Nigeria?
The point is that they were unable to respond to the issues of the borders on his abduction in Kenya and consequent external rendition to Nigeria. When we raised that issue as forming part of our ground for objection to revision of the court intended suit, they didn't respond to it at the High Court, before the court below, even at the Court of Appeal, they didn't address that issue. But the point is that I don't think, with due respect to the Attorney General of the Federation, I don't think he is on a good standing to react to the judgment of the court because he was not in court on that day the judgment was delivered. The court held the abduction because in the language of the court is abduction, it's no longer arrest.
No longer extraordinary rendition, so using that big grammatical
The court concurred with us that it's an abduction. So what happened in Kenya was an abduction of Nnamdi Kanu and consequent extraordinary rendition to Nigeria. That has been settled. So, and on that basis, several international laws, protocols, and conventions to which Nigeria is a state party to, we are flouted with impunity. And as such, there's no charge, there's no trial that can be conducted. As far as that violation has been established. So, because it cannot place something on nothing and expect it to stand.
Yeah, but there was a court case before Nnamdi Kanu left the country, which is what the AGF is saying.
Let me address that point. You see, if you are talking about the charge, we're talking about one charge. We have only one charge in court. That is charge. The charge number FHC/ABJ/CR/383/2015. That's only one charge. An objection raised to this, the competence of the charge, when amendment was effected from 5-count charge to 7-count charge, from 7-count charge to 15-count charge, the court constantly struck out 8, remaining 10, 7, and we went on appeal. Appeal court on the 13th of October 2022 struck out the remaining count charge. So, in the eyes of the law, there's no that charge pending before the court. And now remember, don't forget, that the court proceeded to buy further proceedings against Nnamdi Kanu, for an indictment on him. So even if they want to file another charge against Nnamdi Kanu, it cannot go on. It cannot go on.
Why?
Because court has to inquire, as rightly held by the Court of Appeal, the court failed to inquire into the manner in which he was abducted in Kenya.
Yeah, but apart from that abduction, you have said that those other cases, the initial case filed in 2015 was gone. But doesn't the federal government have the right, if it has available information, to file fresh charges?
They cannot file.
Because what they had said, that, I mean, all those terrorism charges and all those things, if they had fresh information, shouldn't they be able to try him as a Nnamdi Kanu?
No, the court had barred them by virtue of what transpired in Kenya and his rendition to Nigeria, illegal rendition to Nigeria. The court had barred further proceedings, criminal proceedings against Nnamdi Kanu. that was why the court declared that Nnamdi Kanu should be released immediately and unconditionally.
Yeah, and he hasn't been released. I mean, I'm interested in knowing what you have been doing since Thursday, because your client was supposed to have been handed to you right there in the court, but we didn't see that happening.
We are going to serve them formally on Monday, because the judgment of the court will be out on Monday morning. We'll serve them on Monday, and we'll have our client back, settled.
You think he will be given to you?
Sure. Because the point is that even if they are challenging the order of the Court of Appeal before the Supreme Court, even if they are challenging the judgment of the Court of Appeal, the authority settled that you must, first of all, it cannot be in content of order of Court of Appeal at the point you are going to Supreme Court. You must obey that order, first of all, before going to Supreme Court. So they must obey the order made by the Court of Appeal on 13th of October 2022 by releasing him unconditionally.
Well, so if I, for you and I know what has been happening with the DSS, what if they release him to you and then they just wait for him at the gate again, like it happened in previous times? What will happen?
We'll get that bridge across it. The point also, let me just clarify this. Of course, you understand what happened in his house on the 14th of September 2017 is a matter of common knowledge, which are fully aware about how his premises was invaded by Nigerian soldiers. Now 35 persons has been established, killed by Nigerian soldiers in an attempt to eliminate him.
Was it to eliminate him or to arrest him? Because the government said he had lots of questions to answer. He was free, given bail, and he defaulted on the bail.
Now, let me tell you something. Let me just
including putting a serving senator in trouble who stood shorty for him.
Let me clarify you. Maybe because we are within the public space now. Let us hit the nail on the head. Nnamdi Kanu was granted bail on April 17, 2017. And the matter was adjourned for trial to October 17th. Now, Nnamdi Kanu has passed through pre-trial conference before getting set for the trial coming up on 17th of October. Now, assuming without considering to the fact that in the course of enjoying this bail granted him by the Federal High Court, you and me and you know, you're not a lawyer, but I don't know whether you're a lawyer, but you should understand what I'm talking about. Then in the course of enjoying this bail granted by the Federal High Court and committed another offense, the law allows them, you don't need to go to his house and look for him. You wait. Let him come to court on October 17th. If he's in court, you can still arrest him. Now they took the war to his house, and in consequence thereof, killed over 31 persons in his premises. Now, if somebody is coming here to arrest Soma, assuming they are investigating you for being involved in any kind of offense, commission of any offense, and they came here and probably see some people and decided to start killing innocent unarmed citizens. These guys were not armed. Then will you classify that as an arrest? That's not an arrest. The essence is to eliminate him.
Okay, that's in your own words. Well, as we try to round off this conversation, Fanyo Ejiofor, I read the statement by Bruce Fine, one of the lawyers, his international lawyer, where he was saying that, look, if Abubakar Malami goes ahead to this, then he also has to be cautious because the ICC is there for him, waiting for him when he leaves government, because it looks like he's trying to deprive Nnamdi Kanu of his fundamental human rights. What do you make of that?
Don't forget that on June 20th, 2022, United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention issued a communication to the Nigerian government directing them to release Nnamdi Kanu conditionally, and also directing them to pay him to compensate him adequately for gross violation of his right. They've not responded to this communication till date. I know what it means. Before the letter pronounced by the Court of Appeal, that was on 13th of October 2022. So already, by exposing this country, because I believe that AG Federation was instrumental to what happened in Kenya. And it's also very important to point out that even in Kenya, because we have an action we file against fair government in Kenya, in the affidavit they filed before the court in Kenya, the Kenya government admitted in their processes they filed in court that Nnamdi Kanu was legally admitted in their country sometime in May. But as we speak today, they are from the process they filed in court and in the eyes of the law, like Kenyan law, Nnamdi is still there.
Okay. And you haven't answered that. I mean, what would happen in this case?
No, is
Abubakar Malami going to face
by authority of the Supreme Court decision against the Lagos State government, and also recent decision of the Supreme Court on Orisameto against FRN? The federal government has the right. They can exercise the constitutional right for appeal, probably challenge judgment of the Court of Appeal before the Supreme Court. But they cannot apply for stay against that order of Court of Appeal. It's a declaratory order. So first of all, before they take further steps, they will amend that order. Unless they are inviting anarchy. Because any attempt to disobey that order, we resort to something that one cannot expect. There will be consequences to that effect.
Well, you're talking about the state here, and of course you know the powers of the state.
On 29th of June, without us being in court to detain him before the SSL detention facility, we're not in court that day, and that order was obeyed. Ordinarily, we have been remanded in prison custody.
Yeah, but we know the federal government has not been obeying previous court orders.
They will have no option. They must obey this one.
You're hopeful of having your client on Monday?
The Court of Appeal the Court of Appeal is not requesting them. It's an order of the court.
All right.
It's a positive order of court. They must obey it.
All right. How about those who are reading political meanings to it? That is because of the 2023 election. That this looks like an underhand deal by both the federal government and your client, Nnamdi Kanu, for the 2023 polls.
Let me clarify this. Thankfully, His Lordship Honorable Justice Nikitobi, said it openly in open court. At the point was the different judgment that their judgment has nothing to do with any political undertone or any informal political. They're not even influenced by what they are reading over the social media whatsoever. That their judgment is based on the facts, evidence, and laws presented before them.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with any
politics at all. Okay. We must thank you so much.
And they must obey that order.
If I heard you for, we are hopeful that by Monday you would have your client with you, based on what you have expressed here.
Of course, sure. No doubt about it.
We wish you all the best.
God bless you.
Well, that's how we have to stop this particular segment and then move on to other issues. We'll now be going on break. When we come back, we'll be paying attention to Peter Obi and the Labour Party as the rumble continues over the presidential campaign list, which the party brought together, but which was made in controversy. And of course, the party says it's going to readjust it now alongside the presidential candidate apologizing. Stay with us.
Are you struggling with a health challenge? Do you need financial help to access treatment?
I'm tired of trying. I need help. I want to try IVF. I know it's expensive.
Apply now for MHSS, the Maternal Health Service Support, a discounted loan by the W Initiative of Access Bank. For more information, visit our website on www.vwcommunity.com or any Access Bank branch nationwide. You can also send an email to wcares@accessbankplc.com. Terms and conditions apply. The MHSS has successfully financed hundreds of health procedures.
The next one could be yours.
Our music is one of our greatest exports, but our wildlife could be another great industry if we protect it for future generations.
Right now, it's threatened by illegal wildlife trade. So please, report wildlife crime and say no to illegal bushmeat. Because poaching steals from us all.
Here's a card where no go give you stress at all. Zero wait and zero queue. First Banky Petra card. Here's a card where no go give you wahala. Zero trouble now for you. First Banky Petra card. Tell off it's fam. Tell off it's spoiler. Who won't break them? Where you want say now only you get them. Nothing fit do one. Sharp payment not the way. Swipe they go, you know the way. Veteran card with the sweet body. Veteran card with no the shape person. We put you first again. First Banky Veteran card, we put you first again. Generate your virtual card, we put you first again. First Banky Veteran card, we put you first again. Just generate your virtual card, hey.
A very warm welcome to the program you're still watching this week, and I'm Somna Sambo. Well, after much rumble and media criticism, Labour Party says it is working to readjust its controversial presidential campaign council list after a lot of uproar by its members and the public. A public apology has been offered by its presidential candidate Peter Obi and the party's leadership. Why did that list, which included the name of retired Army General John Enenche, associated with defending the army after the October 2020 Lekki tollgate attack, generate that much controversy from Nigerian youths and NSAS demonstrators? Well, joining me in the studio to understand all of these issues is Labour Party's National Publicity Secretary, Arabambi Abayomi, to help us give an insight into what actually is happening at the Labour Party. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Yeah. So, how's the process of the list readjustment going at the moment, and why does it look like young people were actually left out? Young people who many of them try to identify themselves with NSAS and then with the struggle for a new Nigeria.
Well, let me say it was not deliberate, from our own side. But at the end of the day, we've been able to find peace. The failure that was produced by the DG, brought a lot of noise, which is expected.
And some of the noise also came from you too, because during that period, we saw a situation where there was a statement from you, and then, of course, that led to an uproar. So, what did you try to achieve by doing that? Is it as a result of that statement by yours that we have, this adjustment of the list too?
Regarding that, there's no way where you have over 45 million Nigerians in a political party. There's no way when you do something, there will be complaint, because not everybody might be able, to get a sense of the list. But as far as we are concerned, the national chairman and the presidential candidate, they are fully in charge, and I want to assure all our team supporters, the youth, that they will see a new change. They will see a new list where all interests will be taken care of, because the number we have now is unprecedented, in the Nigerian political history. We have all manner, of groups, support group, professional bodies that that have come into the Labour Party willingly, to support our presidential candidate, because they have that implicit confidence in his ability to take Nigeria, out of the wood now to the promised land.
Now, let's look at General Enenche being, like we hear, that he's been left out of the list now because of what he did during the NSAS movement, which, of course, he was serving the country. He had to come out to put out a statement on behalf of an institution. Now, he has, in his own statement, said that he was doing that as a Nigerian soldier who took the oath of allegiance to the country and its institutions. How come it doesn't look like you people foresaw those kind of issues arising, considering the young people who are following the party and its presidential candidate? And then secondly, let's talk about the TUC, that's the Trade Union Congress and Nigeria Labour Congress presidents. Now your chairman, national chairman, has said that they are also going to be removed from the list. Was it that some of these people were not contacted before this list was made public? Or what was the process that was put in place by the party before putting the names together and then announcing to the public?
No, you see, they have a nominee and representative, which they have put, there now. Because, ab initio in Abuja here, some 6 weeks ago, they came on board, publicly to announce, their fusion with Labour Party, because we and them, we are the joint owner of the party. So that is for them. By the time the inauguration will be done, they will be there, present with the president candidate, deputy and national chairman, all member of the National Working Committee, and the president campaign council, and the Labour Party campaign organization. It was just, a little issues here and there, which I said is normal, because ours, seem to be far away, from the whole battle generated between the APC, list, and that of the PDP. But ours, we are one big political family. The national chairman in the freedom, has taken, responsibility, for those mix of which you saw him, and that's, how a leader will behave. Even the president candidate has also taken responsibility. So we have come together, to unite the party. All our members, we just apologize, for the little mess up. Every one of them, they will come back on board of the party so that they will remain stronger because, having this 40-something million membership is massive.
40-something million membership. Well,
it's very massive.
A lot of Nigerians would doubt that number because you don't have a comprehensive list of registered members now, do you?
It has not been done anywhere in this country where you have 1 million match rally going on simultaneously in 8-10 states. And though some of our opponents have been talking about this, but I think we will just, thank God here in Abuja, we will just want to challenge our opponents that at least we should do 1 million man rally in 36 states of the Federation simultaneously.
Well, those
million
matches are actually questionable because the PDP and APC have done all of that, and of course some of the matches can't even fill up some stadiums. I mean,
they haven't. Where you have, the leader of of a trade union, you have the leader of NATA saying they are doing something, for you should know this is an impure something. But where you have Nigerians, the young, the old, professional body coming now to say, oh, we are expressing our love for this person. I mean, it has never been done in this country. We know what they are trying to do, but for them not to go and ferry people from Oshogbo, from Oyo to Lagos, we want them to, we are challenging them that we should do 1 million man rally in 36 states of simultaneously. They can pick Monday, we pick Tuesday, and PDP pick Wednesday. So that, just a day like that, let them do it.
That's a very strong challenge.
You will see that they don't have anybody to parade.
Don't forget, these are legacy parties, legacy political parties that have been on grounds. Some of them.
I am challenging the PDP, I'm challenging the APC and Labour Party that we should just pick a date. They should do their own fair. Why we do our own, on the third day? Just one day for them to do rally. And I know the media houses are capable to cover it.
Yeah, that would be an interesting challenge if it's taken off. But let's go back to that issue of Enenche, General Enenche. I just want you to talk about that.
Well, really, in Nigeria and all over the world, the order of the President-in-Chief and Commander, for armed forces, it will be a dangerous, phenomenon for any military officer or police. It was in this country that General Matis Aguai, who was Chief of Army Staff, said he was not happy when the former president ordered demolition of the body. He said if he had his way.
As in Bielsa State.
Yes, if he had his way, he would have overthrown that government. But he said it after he had retired. That shows to you that it was against his will to have even done that. Because he felt, oh, my people, you want me to go and destroy my people? And you know what happened? The slaughters of 17 military men in that place, that was just said, the whole place should be leveled. That is the indicator and the danger inherent in most of this our job that doesn't have a union. If a military person, in your senses, you disobey an order of the commander-in-chief, that person is a gunner because one, he might be tried secretly, they might find you guilty and he will go for execution. And nothing will be done. It is their line of duty. So for him to say he's obeying order, nobody can blame him for that. You understand? Nobody is going to blame him for that, for what he had done, just in the defense. Now, the difference in that is that, what the people are doing is normal, but if the president and commander-in-chief said it is not normal, maybe after his tenure, people can bring a petition, against him, but why is he elsewhere in government? Inspector General of Police cannot order a commissioner of police in any state go and do this. If he doesn't do that, he will be removed within the next 1 hour. They will fly into Abuja. He will be detained.
Yeah.
For disobedience.
As we try to actually move on to other issues before we round up, there have been this uproar among some supporters of Peter Obi, like Aisha Esufu and then Renu, who have been asking Peter Obi how he's going to handle the issues of police brutality. And it looks like some of your members and, of course, some groups in the Obedient movement are turning out against them. That why should they be asking the presidential candidate such questions? Does it look like it gets to a point whereby some members of your party and even the Obedient movement that are supporting Peter Obi cannot question the presidential candidate and ask him certain questions?
No, you see, we have an individual right. They should understand, where Aisha Yusuf is coming from. She's a woman right fighter. She fears no one. She respects the law. She can ask questions. The other people maybe felt, oh, if a presidential candidate doesn't provide an answer, probably to the benefit of, to a contentment of Aisha Yusuf. There may be something, but as far as I know, our president candidate is the best, that can handle such situation. The police brutality, yes, is somehow very pronounced in this administration. Somehow very, very pronounced, because why on earth we will be attacked in Kaduna? So many states, Ebonyi,
where you already having a taste of what it looks like.
Where we have somebody claiming the governor gave them the order, and the governor came out to say, no, I did not. But I think we should respect our fundamental human right, because this administration, there were a lot of protests they did against former President Goodluck Jonathan, and no harm, no hand was raised against them. I think they should just allow Nigerians to ventilate their anger peacefully. Then whoever that is doing possession, I love this IGP. I will not lie to you. This IGP is performing very well. It's a man that is not biased, because we have indices to check. If it's biased, I will say it here. But the IGP is not biased. So that means.
So who are those attacking your party members?
It's just some policemen that does not know what they are doing in their state. How could you be lying against a city governor? How could you be lying against a CP? If you are claiming CP give you the order, for God's sake, why were they withdrawn? A CP will not commit such a rascality to give an order and he quickly withdrew them. He must have taken order from Abuja. So, but overseer policemen, they will just go to the town and fire cannons of tear gas against the armless Nigerians.
All right, during the week, you actually spoke to me about how the Labour Party is unhappy about the budget presented by President Muhammadu Buhari, and you feel that your party and Peter Obi can do something better. Talk to us about what a potential Labour Party government can do in terms of budgeting and then making it different from other political parties in the past.
And in any nation, when you do your debt with debt, any country, you are not going to have development. You are not going to, your GDP will remain, at the lowest ebb. There will be unemployment. All we are going to do is very simple because of our time. We have a manifesto that our local content will be developed. Every country that failed to develop local content, look at the budget now. I was surprised. Our president said they are going to borrow money to finance debt. That is, they even want to pay the interest on the debt, not the debt per se, and that they will be borrowing 6.something trillion, for that. They will be borrowing another 11 trillion to finance the budget, because Minister of Finance came out to tell Nigeria that, the threshold now is that our income will only take care of 75% of our debt servicing. That means Nigeria is a failed nation by them, by themselves.
Will you actually say it's a failed nation, or this particular government is not doing much to shore up the country's revenue?
They are the one in charge now, because as you and I speak, your debt and my debt, when they put the ratio to 200 million Nigeria, you are owing like 400-something thousand, and you are owing 400-something thousand.
So what would Labour Party do differently, including if you dare get into government?
Now, ours is that because we have our local content moribund, nothing is being produced here. Our naira is just sliding down.
People will dispute that with you also, that nothing is being produced.
They can tell us what anybody is exporting from Nigeria. We will challenge them. Maybe you can bring them on stage. Let them come and tell us what anybody from abroad, will say they want to import. The governor of Benue State told us that the CBN was just printing naira, to show up their deficiency. Everybody said, no, he's talking rubbish. Today, if the Minister of Finance told us that the threshold had been crossed and that our income for 2023 will only service 75% of our debt servicing, it will be a problem. Our income, that means we don't have any income. Everything we are going to generate will be used for debt servicing. One. Number two, what we are even going to use for both the current and capital expenditure, we are going to borrow. So where are we?
Well, not all. Because we will still be generating some income.
No, but they said it by themselves. I'm going to quote the president.
Okay.
Very quickly. They said the total public debt stock representing domestic and national debt stock of the federal government, that is the 36 state and the federal capital, is 42.84 trillion. That's 103 billion. They were the one that gave us this figure. But what is our income? they have told us that, oh, everything we are going to make this year to next year, we only take care of servicing 75% of our debt. So we still have to go and show up 25% somewhere. You understand? To balance the 100, that is debt servicing. Now, we are now talking about how we now go to finance the budget, you know, for the recurrent and capital expenditure. So where are we?
All right.
They were the ones that said it. We are not the
have a
ones.
lot
But
for...
Mr. Our president, our presidential candidate, have that capacity to make sure things work in Nigeria by making sure our local content is developed. Once our local content is developed, our naira value will also go up, because people will now be, you know, asking for our goods, and they will be doing that in naira. And once, you know, it's just not that revolve around economies, the higher the demand, you know, the higher the price.
All
so
right.
when the demand for our local products, you know, we move on.
It's a huge task for you at the Labour Party alongside the presidential candidate. But with the support you're getting alongside your presidential candidate, it's left for you to sell your manifesto very well to a lot of Nigerians, especially
we are the only one that have manifesto. We are the only one. Only political party.
Well, Atiku will dispute that, and of course,
no, they don't
I think the NNPP is also making.
No, they do not have. Baba did not read the manifesto.
Too.
President Jonathan did not read the manifesto.
Well, thank you so much.
The former president Jonathan, I mean, that did not read the manifesto.
Abayomi is the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party, and we must thank you for being on the show to help us understand the issues. Well, we'll go on a short break now, and when we come back, we'll be talking about the Governing All Progressives Congress, where weeks after the official September 28th date given by INEC for parties to commence campaigns, the party is indecisive about a specific date for the flag of its presidential campaigns. Stay with us.
We started our journey over 7 years ago, connecting travelers to their favorite destinations. Since then, we've revolutionized how we want our passengers to feel while flying. That is why we've introduced our brand new Embraer 195-E2 aircraft.
Everyone has a face they need to see.
We're on a mission to add new destinations to our ever-increasing fleet. Our Boeing 777 will take you on an international journey. Mumbai, Guangzhou, London, Johannesburg. And now, APC is adding a new destination, Dubai.
If you're gonna fly, then you should fly with us on
Air Peace flies you from all our domestic routes to Dubai from Lagos at no additional cost.
34 million hectares of arable land. Over 200 million people. One nation. Home to Africa's fertilizer company. Dangote Fertilizer. Pure urea fertilizer. With one single-minded passion to feed Nigeria. Every bag is a potential, an aspiration to turn this green nation into the biggest food basket of Africa. Dangote Fertilizer.
Welcome back. You're still watching This Week, and I'm Somna Sambo. Now, for the second time in a week, the meeting between the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the governors of the party, members of the party's National Working Committee, as well as the Presidential Campaign Council, again failed to agree on a specific date to flag off the campaign of the party. with the major opposition, the People's Democratic Party, already actively ahead in their campaigns in Uyo on Monday and another scheduled for Kaduna next week. There are worries in some quarters that the APC may be missing in action, but the presidential campaign spokespersons in the party says there is not much to worry about as they are working to get a specific date, and that the smaller parties can continue to have the stage while they prepare to launch a major campaign. Well, to help us make sense of this is a co-director in the Strategic Communications Department of the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council, Dr. Nnamdi Kanu, and he's also a former Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission. So good to have you, Dr. Nnamdi Kanu.
Thank you very much, Sonia.
And congratulations once again on your elevation into the political sphere. I know you've been in politics for long, having served as former commissioner in Sokoto State and all of that. There shouldn't be a new terrain for you. But what's actually happening with the APC, and why is it taking time for it to just agree on a specific date?
Sonia, I can conveniently tell you that from the meeting that took place last Thursday, we're almost set. We're just talking about dates now. Within the next few days, a specific date would be announced, and you can be rest assured that we're not missing in action. We will not miss out on the tempo. We shall not miss out on the momentum, because we understand the dynamics of how to arrive at the destination. And what, as I said the other time, involves, you don't want to come out with a presidential campaign list and people are still arguing about the presidential campaign list, and names of people that were not even part of your party were dropped into those lists. You don't want that kind of stuff. You don't also want to start a campaign and 5 governors are not part of your campaign. You don't want to start a campaign. So
like it's happening in
why are you starting in the first place if you have not put your house in order?
Yeah, but yours, your own list also generated controversy because it's alleged that the National Working Committee wasn't happy that you just went to declare this list in the public without the contribution of the party's management.
I can assure you that I was at the meeting on Thursday, and all such things were resolved. Besides, it was one of those things that were amplified beyond. There was not, for instance, in the media committee, there was the former National Publicity Secretary, Lanre Onilu. Yeah, there was the present National Publicity Secretary, Moka. Felix Moka, and a host of other people in the media committee. Likewise, the Deputy National Chairman, Senator Kyari,
Abubakar Kyari, the national chairman
and the vice chairman North, this vice chairman Central.
At that meeting, sorry to just interject, at that meeting of the PCC, NWC, and then of course others, we didn't see the national chairman Abdullah Adamu at that meeting, and some people are beginning to read meanings. Is Abdullah Adamu unhappy about how the Presidential Campaign Council is doing these things? Can the PCC afford to work without the party?
Senator Abubakar Kyari gave a lengthy explanation as to why the party chairman was not available. And remember that it was a day after, I think a day or two after the National Honors Awards.
Yes, yes.
And the Emir of Lafia, the Emir of Kefi were all part of the nominees and the awardees. And there were lots of receptions into the next day, And again, Sumner, when a national chairman has a competent, qualified, distinguished senator in the mold of Senator Abubakar Kyari, you can delegate duties. He's experienced enough, and he held that meeting very well. You needed to hear his speech. It was flowing, and he recommitted the party to the whole of the project. As the candidate was sitting down there, the vice presidential candidate was sitting there, Senator Abubakar Kyari made sure that he explained that the absence of Senator Abdullah Adamu was not anything. In fact, he nicely, as I said, when you have a good, something I can come on air on Arise TV because I know I'm one of those that trained you, and I can come on your program because if your program fails, it means Allah Dibako who trained you is a failure.
Of course, yeah.
So I think Senator Abubakar Kyari knows the onion so well that he was trusted enough to be able to. And I was sitting down there, I saw all the National Working Committee members.
Yeah, but how do you explain the absence of Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo and Ahmad Lawan, who's the President of the Senate? If the Speaker is there, these two persons, it looks like they've been sort of staying away from the APC's activities.
No, I can
If President Buhari is busy, aren't they supposed to at least be standing in one side by side for him? If the Speaker is there, why can't the VP or the Senate President be there?
The Speaker left almost about an hour and a half after we started. And remember, there was a day that the Senate was in session. And let me put it this way. You know yourself that as we speak, we're in October. The National Assembly is likely to go on a break again. Then, before you know it, campaigns have started. They still have constitutional amendments to make. They have so many outstanding bills to make into laws. So, in fact, time is against them. Really and truly, by now, we should have completed the amendment of our constitution. We should have completed so many things. So I understand when the Speaker represents the National Assembly at the event. And we're comfortable enough because there are no rough areas again. The DG of the campaign, Right Honorable Simon Bak all along, gave very elaborate explanations as to what to do with the lists, the presidential campaign list, what to do with the manifesto, what to do with everything that we have prepared. And everything was satisfactorily done.
Yeah, but you didn't speak of the VP. I mean, is Oshibanjo still aggrieved with the party? We haven't seen him showing lots of commitment since the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a APC presidential candidate. What's going on? Aren't you reaching out enough to him?
I want to assure you that from what I know, and I do know quite a lot, there are no grouches or bad blood between the Vice President and the campaign team. Because as you do know, I think there's emphasis that government has to work. And government has to work. Besides, you only really need all the army when there is crisis. For now, there is no crisis. Everything has been laid out as a point where, Sumna, I was there and we went through all the elements that will form part of the campaign, including the items the next government is going to put forward to Nigerians.
Yeah, and one of those items is the manifesto. How can a governing party not have a manifesto right on time? I mean, you can hear the Labour Party taunting you, you can hear the PDP taunting you. That APC, having been in government for the past 7 years, is finding it difficult to put out a manifesto.
Sumna, there is a manifesto of the APC. What you are doing is you are rejigging what exists there to make a new improvement on things that have happened over since 2014 when this manifesto was made. Of course, you know you need to retune. Events have taken over globally. Events have emerged in terms of the economy. Events have adjusted. So there is a need to look critically and make sure that the things you are putting anew will further enhance the performance of. Otherwise, you could easily just take the 2014 manifesto and give to everybody.
But isn't Tinubu bringing his own campaign agenda, which may look like it's a bit different from that of the party?
No, it won't be that different because the candidate was part of the writing of that manifesto of 2014. He was central. He was ACN. I mean, he literally brought ACN and CPC together. And new PDP came in, APGA, some segments of APGA. So the candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was integral to the writing of that constitution. And I want to assure you that what will come out as his own manifesto or work plan will not be too far from where we stopped. That is to say, there are just going to be improvements on areas he thinks that need retooling and rejigging. And that's to give it a new life, inject new blood, create new ideas, and create a brighter future for Nigeria.
Can you share with us how a potential Tinubu presidency would look like in terms of tackling the major problems of the economy? For example, oil theft, which is a major problem right now. Fuel subsidy, which is another one. The issue of poor power supply, which is another one. The issue of the lingering universities lecturer strike. What's the thinking within the Tinubu political camp?
Sumna, I sat down there for close to 3 hours. The candidate took us through one by one all these areas.
Himself?
Himself.
Interesting.
He took everything, and all of us were simply just stupefied. One, to have the energy to go through that huge document, close to 70, 80 something pages, took them one after the other. In fact, some of the areas where he requested for inputs, there was enthusiasm. The governor of Jigawa, very valid points he made. The governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu, made some incredible points. The governor of Nasarawa, the governor of Kogi, everybody made inputs. Then the dimension that the governor of Kebbi now gave it some new. Then the party's deputy national chairman, Senator Kiari, representing them, made some very invaluable contributions. That is what consultation does.
Yeah, but so what are the specifics in terms of how he intends to tackle these problems? Because I mean, I don't envy the next president of Nigeria myself. I mean, when you look at the problems of this country, you wonder why some people want to become president. If they are not prepared, a lot of Nigerians say, look, it's going to be difficult. You and I see what's going on in the UK. I mean, the Strauss is already facing lots of heat.
Somna, the truth of the matter is that when a list is sent to the National Assembly, when there are issues, either presidential nomination of ministers or ambassadors, the National Assembly is always given the privilege to announce it to Nigerians.
Yeah.
Whatever I say here will be preempting the candidate.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that you've been trying to dodge the question yourself.
I can assure you that there are reforms in so many areas. There are reforms in so many areas. There is a new lease of life in so many areas. And those items will create the new Nigeria we're looking forward to. And before Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu became governor of Lagos State, it looked like everything he was saying was just on the peripheral level until that roadmap started being actualized by the governors himself, then Fashola, then Ambode, then Sanwo-Olu now. And Sanwo-Olu, just yesterday, I was looking through the rail line, the blue line of Lagos. Amazing, isn't it? Yeah, that we have gotten to the point where Lagos now has a rail.
Independent
of federal government. So if a Tinubu is doing that kind of work, once upon a time, you won't go to Oshodi and pass with that. You won't go to Tinubu Square. You won't go to so many places. In fact, the level of security, you couldn't open your doors and go to sleep. Somebody will break down your doors. Tinubu worked on security. Lagos is about one of the safest places you have in this country today. The same with Kashim Shettima. He ran into a Borno by 2011. Borno was 2 years old of Boko Haram. There were 20 local governments under Boko Haram. Kashim Shettima applied his thinking cap and walked through. He didn't advertise what he was going to do before he came into office. He just mentioned them. These are testimonies of two brilliant governors, former governors, who we can trust their judgment because of what they've done in the past. Anybody who talks to you about anything, ask him, what did you do in the past? We have a state where they left money in the bank and the people are suffering. We have a state where they talk about Dubai and there is no Dubai. Anambra should have been a Dubai by now. We have a state where for 8 years they didn't do local government elections.
So how do you juxtapose that with Lagos, having invested all of this, and Lagos is one of the states that's owing so much compared to Anambra that you're talking about. For example, Peter Obi had left 75 billion for his successor. Tinubu actually is said to have left some debt, which is being carried over from Fashola out to Ambode up onto Sanwo-Olu now.
Sumna, converts the money that was left to dollars now, you discover it is peanuts. So if you had invested those monies, you would have found, you know yourself that the debt ratio of Nigeria is not anything to worry about. Brazil, everyone, I can give you a list of countries and their debts. This is not an academic program, but I would have just taken you through a whole sequence of debts owed by country. Debts and management. That's why there's a debt management office to guide you in what is an acceptable debt ratio to your budget and your GDP. All those things are issues that will be resolved. Most important thing is that don't let people die on the street out of hunger. And as we speak, whether you like it or not, what these two gentlemen did in their various states has created prosperity. For some reason or the other, there is a little more, life. Although with the levels of the federal government, you can say things like GSM provides people to do recharge cards, small menial things. But the way these two states handle the economy, and so many other states.
Yeah, but why is it that when it comes to Tinubu and Shetima's tickets, you just keep talking about things that happen in Lagos and in Borno State rather than talking about APC-led federal government, because they are holding the ticket of the APC, and we need to know what the APC has done at the federal level and not what these two gentlemen did in their various states. Quickly,
you didn't ask me, so I won't go that way. But now that you have asked me, if you look at the tax reforms that within the economy, the tax reforms and the executive orders on local content, you know yourself that he has built something for the immediate future. Because when you look at all the executive orders about made in Nigeria products, so many things that have happened. If you look at the taxes that have been laid out and how, the pattern of all those reforms in the economy, they are bound to, you might not see the effect now, but somehow, whether you like it or not, you might be sitting where we're not seeing the effect of the famine and the anchor borrowers program. But a lot of all the farmers in Kebbi, Jigawa, Goronyo Dam in Sokoto, etc., that benefit from the anchor borrowers program, wheat, rice, will tell you, don't even bother to go.
All right.
Just hang on.
I've been told that it's time for us to go.
Don't bother to go to. There is no explanation that it took somebody from Daura to come and build a second Niger bridge that the former governments of Jonathan did not do. There's no talking about
that's a legacy project.
Absolutely.
Well,
I can go on.
Dr. Nnamdi Kanu is the co-director, strategic communication of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. Of course, he's my former boss, a very good tutor in this broadcast industry, someone who has held the highest honors in the broadcast regulatory space too. We must thank you so much, and we hope that when your campaign starts in the APC, you play the game based on the rules, and of course, you guide others on how to do it. We must thank you so much for watching another edition of This Week. Remember, that ahead of the elections, Nigeria is ours to fix. So play your part effectively. I'm Somna Sambo. See you next week.
Where is Glory? Excuse me, ma'am.
Glow! Where Glow now?
Are they here?
Glow, don't go village. Tell all our customer abi.
Everybody pay attention. See, now Glow berekete 10x. Now him I they take tension my customers. Now they dash me 10 times the credits when I load. Or even summer me double data join.
Yeah. Wait, so with 1.5 when they give all of us, so you they enjoy up to
15,000 naira credit and data. And I say I never finish you. See, when I say if you enjoy, if you not join Glow berekete 10x, when I go get 1,000 naira welcome credits, you just carry your phone, dial *777#. Finish.
Glow, you don't win.
Una see they here. Hello, please, I'm looking for Glow. Please save now Glow with they fine. Now Glow with they go. Okay, so
enjoy 10 times the value of your recharge on Glow berekete 10x. You also get 1,000 naira for calls and data and double data bonus on your subscription.